Warning, the following podcast contains adult content, adult language, and adult situations. I talk openly about sex and explicit topics. If you are under the age of 18 or are uncomfortable listening to sexually explicit narratives, please listen no further. I am not a professional therapist, counselor, or doctor. I'm just an average guy in the swinger lifestyle who likes to share his experiences. This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Please seek a professional if you are in need of advice, guidance, or care as it relates to sexual health or alternative lifestyles. Hello again, and welcome to Evan Swings, a podcast about the swinger lifestyle from the perspective of a guy in the lifestyle. I am Evan, and yes, I do indeed swing. I'm half of a lifestyle couple. The other half is Eva, my awesome, sexy wife. We've been in the lifestyle for 3 glorious years. New to the podcast? Thank you. Thank you for giving me a shot. I hope you enjoy my ramblings about the lifestyle and tales of our experiences. As always, though, I do recommend you start with my first episodes as it, chronicles our journey into the lifestyle from the beginning. No need to, though. No context is needed, but just a suggestion. And for those of you returning, welcome back. So glad to have you here. It really does mean so much to me. Eva and I just got back from a vacation just outside of Cancun, the Riviera Maya. We stayed at a resort called Desire Riviera Maya Pearl. And I'm going to use this episode to talk about some experiences we had there. We hit a home run, we struck out, and had a few foul balls, we'll say. And I hope to dedicate my next episode after this one to review the resort and talk about what you can expect at an all-inclusive clothing optional resort. But for this one, I'm going to talk about some of the experiences we had with, or non-experiences that we had with some couples at the Pearl. But before we get into that, I do want to just real quick talk about some sad news. I'm very sad. Sad news for Evan. So if you've been an avid listener, you know about my experiences fulfilling 2 of my biggest fantasies, an FMF threesome, and meeting a woman for some separate play at a hotel. And I did so with someone who I nicknamed Annie. And she was and still is absolutely amazing. Everything I could have hoped for in someone who was willing to play separately and as a couple. And she unexpectedly decided to leave the lifestyle for issues beyond my control. And it was not about me, at least I don't think it was. And I hope she returns someday, but my hopes are not high. I sent her a pic from the resort, and I don't take many photos of myself, especially like sexy ones. But in this case, I decided to pull off my shirt and take a photo, show off my tan that I was getting a little bit and my new necklace. And I sent it to her because, we still chat occasionally. We still stay in touch as friends. And I was hoping she would, respond with a comment that, I look good or something. I admit I was kind of fishing for a compliment. Kind of keeping hope alive, I guess you'd say. So, Eva was sending up pics for herself and got lots of compliments on her sexy outfits and swimwear. So I decided to do the same. And she responded with, "Looks like fun. Hope you guys had a great time." So not exactly what I was hoping for, but, glad she responded, of course. And, she could have just said, fuck off, fuck you and your pathetic attempt at a sexy pic. But then after that, she also followed that with a request. And the request was to delete any photos I ever took of her. Now keep in mind, none of the photos I kept of her had her face. Always cropped out. I usually, when I took the photos, I tried to not even include her face when I took the pics. But she did ask me to delete them. And this was sad for me. I mean, those photos represented some pretty darn happy memories. And I really wanted to keep them and look back at them from time to time. But I am a man of integrity, and I felt compelled to honor her wishes. So I would never want her to be uncomfortable. So I deleted them from my phone as requested. A sad day indeed. So now I only have the photos in my head, my memories, and I will hold on to those memories forever. Such amazing experiences, and such an amazing woman. I thought of her kind of as like a replacement for Hamilton Hottie. You can check out one of my earlier episodes for that story. But I thought I had, a replacement for her. Hamilton Hottie was like someone I had all this chemistry with, and I thought I would be able to see her more often and have good times with her, and that didn't work out, and I was kind of bummed. And then Annie came along, and I thought she was that one again. But a few months later, here we are, and it is over, I guess, at least for a while. So, I thought I'd found my permanent go-to, I guess you'd say, when it comes to separate play and, a regular, quote-unquote regular who lives in my hometown. Such a good situation. But unfortunately, as the old saying goes, all good things come to an end. And Annie actually listens to this podcast. So Annie, if you are hearing this, I miss you. But I totally understand and hope one day we can rekindle our flame. And that sounded really lame, but you know what I mean. Okay, so now that I got the sad stuff out of the way, let's move on to the fun stuff. Our trip to the Desire Riviera Maya Pearl. We had booked a 4-night stay. And again, this will not be a review of the resort. I have lots to say about our experience and hope that others can learn from ours, but I will save that stuff for the next episode. Or maybe even a future episode, I'm not sure yet. But eventually I will do kind of like a review of the resort. But instead, in this episode, I'll focus on the experiences, or the lack thereof, that we had with other couples. When we first decided to go to Pearl, I accelerated preparation, and I put it into high gear. We booked a trip only like 2 or 3 weeks before the actual vacation, and we had never been to any kind of all-inclusive resort before, let alone a clothing optional one. So I wanted to know, all about this. I wanted to know as much as I could. It was expensive. There was a lot of travel involved. So, I felt like I wanted to make the most of the experience. So I set out to learn as much as I could. I joined a Facebook group, a Telegram group, a Reddit group, and an SDC group. And these were all designed to not only interact with people who've already been there, but also those who might be attending the same week as Eva and me. We had a few very unattractive, both physically and intellectually, couples contact us. But that was pretty much it in terms of interest. Not very many people attending the same days we were attending that appeared to be posting anything on these sites. But there was one couple that kind of broke that trend. And I'm going to call this couple Roger and Marianne. He was a big Dallas Cowboys fan, so I will honor that by using the name of one of the most famous Cowboys quarterbacks, Roger Staubach, and his wife, Marianne. So Roger was instrumental in this whole process. He seemed to be the one to set up the Facebook group, and he was definitely the one who set up the Telegram group, because he was the one who sent me the invitation. Now, these groups were great places to go to, ask questions about the resort. What to expect, what to wear, how much to tip, how to obtain transportation to and from the Cancun airport, stuff like that. I was so thankful for these groups and very thankful for Roger. He was always willing to answer my questions. Sometimes I wouldn't even post them in one of the group chats. I would just send him a message directly on Telegram. And he would always give a great, honest response. We started chatting a bit, and it turns out he was in the lifestyle as well. I guess before I should go any further, I should let everyone know that Eva and I mistakenly thought the resort was a lifestyle resort. Not the case. It's a clothing optional resort where both swingers, nudists, and even couples who don't fall into either of those categories, they attend as well. And I'll talk more about that in the next episode I do about the resort. But Roger and Marianne were indeed in the lifestyle. And we seemed to, hit it off a little bit. So you are probably aware, I needed to run their photos by Eva, because if she didn't approve, this would be going nowhere anyway, and I'd be just wasting my time. But Eva thought both Roger and Marianne were very attractive, and we kept chatting, learning more about each other, sharing some pics. And then Eva decided she wanted to chat as well. Now, Marianne was not a chatter, and I respected that. So I asked Roger if he would be interested in chatting separately with Eva. And he was. So he and Eva started chatting and flirting and ramping up the sexy banter. And, Eva loves doing that. Eva, if she's, interested in a guy, she finds it very sexy to kind of flirt with them and, chat with them and send pictures. And she loves getting compliments on, the photos that she sends. So it certainly seemed that this couple, who was going to be at Pearl the first 2 nights we were there, was a strong possibility for some spicy fun. It came time for our travel day. Now, I will say this. Our travel experience, both to and from Cancun, was an absolute nightmare. It was worse on the way home. But on the way there, we connected through Philadelphia. Pro tip, if you can, don't connect. That was a huge part of our problem. If you want to go to Cancun, our advice is to find a direct flight. It was a horrible experience for us both ways. We got up at 4:30 a.m., made it to the airport by 5:30. The airport had the wrong gate listed on the monitors, and we didn't think to actually look at our boarding passes for the gate number. We just used what was on the monitors. So we're sitting around gate A15 waiting for our boarding time. And we noticed there weren't a lot of other passengers at the gate, but didn't think of it too much. And at one point, Eva hears down the hall Last call for passengers for flight, whatever we were, to Philadelphia. She asked me about it, and I was like, no, it must be another flight. The monitor clearly said A15. So I peeked at our boarding pass, A11. So we sprinted down the hall to the other gate and made it aboard. But we were like, holy shit, we almost missed our flight. A nightmare was avoided. Well, little do we know, it was just beginning. We got on the plane, and the plane, we taxied out into the runway, and the pilot came on. The plane was having maintenance issues. After a while, they decided to bring us back to the gate and get a new plane. So we got off the plane and waited. Over 2 hours later, we still had not boarded. We were going to miss our connection in Philly. It was very obvious. So I kept Roger posted. I did a lot of research while I'm just sitting there waiting. And there were no other flights from Philadelphia to Cancun. If we missed our connection, we might not get there until the following day. We might miss a whole day at the resort. By the time we got in the air, it was a foregone conclusion. We were going to miss our connection. There was just no way. They were going to have to put us on a different flight, most likely the next day. So I told Roger all this as soon as we landed in Philadelphia, and he seemed bummed. We were bummed. We were beyond bummed. We were stressed out and, trying to figure out, okay, now we have to contact the resort. Now we got to get hotel accommodations. It was a mess. But we were all bummed about this situation too, because we were definitely going to, hang out that evening. No expectations. I just mean we were definitely going to meet and talk and hopefully hit it off. I checked the flight status of our connection with an agent, and she said it was delayed, but it had just left 10 minutes prior. She advised us to go to the gate anyway and get it rebooked. Now, Philadelphia Airport is huge, and we didn't want to wait up to 15 minutes for a shuttle that could take us over to the complete opposite side of the airport. So I just started walking. And Eva's not as fast as a walker as I am, so I told her that I would power walk to the gate and get the process started, and I would meet her there. I wanted to get there as fast as I could in case there was a chance they could reroute us through another airport. And I thought every minute counted. So I flew. I booked it. When I was about halfway to the gate, I got a call from the airlines. The woman said, "Are y'all still flying with us today?" And I responded, already kind of grumpy and in a pissed off mood. But I was polite, but I said, "Yes, I'm actually making my way to the gate right now so you guys can rebook us." To my surprise, she said, "Oh, no, the plane's still here. We're waiting for you." I almost burst into tears right there. So I called Eva and told her to haul ass. I was like, they're holding the plane for us. And as I was getting closer to the gate, I got another call from the airlines asking how close I was because they were getting ready to close the doors. So I gave my position, but Eva was going to have to become Usain Bolt and just absolutely fly. I texted her and told her again to run. And she did. And had an asthma attack and everything. But you know what? We got on that plane. Which departed over 30 minutes after we got on board because the damn pilot was late. And they needed more fuel. So we didn't have to rush like we were told. But anyway, as I sat there in happy relief and we're trying to catch our breath and just regain our sanity, I texted Roger to let him know we would indeed be there that day, albeit later in the afternoon. And he seemed happy too. We've got a text from him when we arrived in Cancun asking if we had landed. So there was definitely some interest on his and Marianne's end. And I was certainly pleased with that as somebody who doesn't read people very well. It seemed to indicate that they were happy we were going to be there. So we got to the resort, and we were hungry as hell because of the long day we just had. No time to have lunch. So we decided, I'm not sure if you can hear that. Speaking of having lunch, my stomach is growling at this point. I apologize if you can hear that. So we decided after getting our room and getting showered and changed that we would go right to dinner. At this point, it was about 6 o'clock p.m. But we wanted to walk past the pool and hot tub area to see if we could find Roger and Marianne. And sure enough, they were in the hot tub. We said a quick hello before moving on to dinner. I was very happy to see that Marianne was even hotter in person than in the photos I saw of her. Just definitely a hottie. Dinner ended. We found Roger and Marianne again, and we decided we would meet them for the live entertainment show in the hotel lobby. So that evening, we met them there, talked more, and they were awesome, super nice, down to earth, and of course, very sexy. And they answered more of our questions and kind of like showed us the ropes, like after the lobby show, the doors open to the disco. That's what they call it, but it's like the resort's nightclub or dance club. So the doors to the disco open, and Roger and Marianne showed us where to hang out in order to get into the disco as quickly as possible and, get a good seat because there's like a show inside the disco to start. It was awesome. And Eva and I will be forever grateful to them for getting us accustomed to the dynamics of the resort. And after we had experienced the disco strip show that was put on, very nice by the way, and danced a bit, we all went to the hot tub. And it is a really big hot tub where dozens of people hang out together, naked if they wish. So we talk more there as well. Then I wanted to take part in something that I had heard about and had been hoping to try. Every night from midnight until 3 a.m., I think, in the lobby, there is a chef making fresh grilled tacos. And I was hungry. So I let everyone know that I wanted to do that, and Roger and Marianne said they were interested as well. So we went to the lobby and talked more and had freaking delicious tacos. Pork, chicken, beef, chorizo, grilled right there in front of us. Just absolutely amazing. When we were done eating, Roger said something that would become iconic. It was like the statement or question of the trip. It like defined it. He asked, "Do you want to go check out the beds on the beach?" There were in fact beds, about a dozen of them set up on the beach for both relaxing and playing, I think. Now, up until this point, as someone who can't read people well, does not take hints, cannot read signals, I didn't think anything was going to happen tonight. I figured we were legit going to go down to the beach and check out the beds. I figured we'd just hang out, talk, maybe grab a drink at the bar before heading down there. Now, Eva, of course, knew exactly what was going on. We got down to the beach, and she removes her bikini bottoms and hands them to me to sit on the bed next to us. And ladies and gentlemen, I was still somehow completely oblivious to what was going on. My wife removed her bikini bottoms to lay on a bed, and I didn't click with me. Didn't even realize the significance of what she just gave me. I mean, you got to give me at least some slack because we had just eaten tacos like minutes ago. Didn't go brush our teeth. And no one said anything about protection. So I figured we were just off to do something G-rated. Maybe even PG, maybe PG-13. Now, it had rained a bit earlier, so we put towels down on the bed. It was pretty much dry, but just in case, we did that. And all four of us lay down on the bed and we talked very briefly. Until it became evident that we were there for more than just to talk. Eva and Marianne both removed their tops, and it was game on. It hit me. I was like, wait a minute. What's going on here? Eva, of course, called me out for being an idiot, oblivious to what was happening. And she was right. But first thing I asked after the realization was, do we have protection? I mean, that's what really threw me off. If I had known that we were going to play, I would have been like, okay, well, I'm going to need to go back to my room and get protection. But Roger had brought some with him. It seems everyone was very aware what was about to transpire, checking out the beds on the beach, except for my dumbass. But everyone stripped down naked, and I started kissing Marianne. Awesome kisser, by the way. And Eva was kissing Roger. And actually kissing was a topic that Roger and I had chatted about previously. You know, we both felt that kissing is a necessity for play dates. And if a play partner can't kiss well, it's a real downer. But Marianne was fantastic. And Eva said that Roger was too. And Marianne also had something that was really hot to me. A small, well-kept bush. And I hate calling it that. Okay, I hate calling it a bush. It wasn't even that. It was just some well-groomed hair. And I loved it. I told Eva later that I believe she was the first lady we have played with in the lifestyle to not shave completely downstairs. So I found this exceptionally hot. This was like new to me. And the sound she made. Oh, I just love when women make sounds, you know, the moans, the oohs and the ahs and the talking. I love when women say things to me during sex, and Marianne did that, and it was just amazing. Never did I expect to be having sex on a beach in Mexico with someone other than my wife, for that matter. And here I was. So I quickly added it to my mental bucket list and then quickly checked it off. It was one of the hottest things I have ever experienced in the lifestyle. The weather was perfect, you know, slight breeze. You had the sound of waves crashing gently on the sand, the clear night sky with stars above. The mood was just absolutely perfect. And Eva really enjoyed Roger too. He could kiss, he was assertive, he was complimentary. And it was just an all-around fun time, just so much fun. After everyone was done, we walked back up to the resort area and said goodnight. And Eva and I went back to our own suite for reclaim sex. Reclaim sex in Mexico. Very hot as well. Roger texted me and told me that they had a lot of fun and hoped we did too. I responded that we certainly did and hoped to play with them again the next night. Yeah, I was being very forward. I said we hope to play with them again the next night. No pressure, but we were willing if they were up for it. Now, deep down, I had a feeling, though, that this night was going to be the highlight of our trip. I mean, how could this be topped? It was just perfect. And I was unfortunately correct. Roger and Marianne got sick the next day. So sick that they didn't want to even leave their rooms. They even tried to leave the resort and catch an earlier flight and get home earlier. So we unfortunately didn't get a chance to hang out with them again. But we are so thankful to have met them. They were so nice and so much fun. And I really don't think we could call our trip half as fun as it was if we hadn't met them. So I told them about this podcast. So if you were listening, Roger and Marianne, thanks again. And we hope our paths will cross again someday. So that was night one. Now, night two, very uneventful. We went to the party in the lobby and the show and the disco, but didn't meet anyone new that we were truly interested in like playing with. We did meet this awesome older couple that made the rest of our trip very enjoyable because they were just fantastic to talk to. They had a lot of experience and were just really outgoing. Like they just talked to everyone and made friends with everyone. Everybody enjoyed their company. I wish Eva and I could be that outgoing. Now they arrived with necklaces that said their names, and a few hours after we met them, she gave Eva and I necklaces with our names on them. And she explained it was a great way to meet people and get to know people and kind of like break the ice. Just phenomenal people. So L&R, if you are listening, we loved meeting you guys, and thank you so much for making us feel so welcome. Now the only other note for night 2 is that Eva and I decided that we had to go check out the beds by the beach. We wanted to say that we had sex with each other on the beach as well. We didn't want to go home knowing we had sex on a beach, but with other people, not each other. So we did, and just like the night before, weather was perfect. The mood was perfect. So, ladies and gentlemen, we really enjoy having sex on a beach. So I told you there was a home run, a strikeout, and some foul balls. So Roger and Marianne, that was the home run. So now let me tell you about the strikeout. I've mentioned many times that Eva and I are not really comfortable walking up, or in this case, swimming up, to random strangers and striking up conversations. We just kind of hope that people initiate conversation with us. We kind of hold back, a little bit reserved. Unless we are given an opening. If we're given an opening, then we have no problem starting a conversation with someone. And that opening came on day 3. We were in the pool by the swim-up bar when Eva noticed a dude, part of a couple. The wife was right next to him. And he was holding a 25th anniversary tumbler. Well, that was actually one of the reasons Eva and I took this vacation. We were celebrating our 25th year of marriage. So Eva noticed the cup and struck up a conversation with the guy. Said, it's our 25th anniversary too. He introduced his wife, and we had a long, nice conversation. I'd say we talked for at least an hour, and they were very, very attractive. They were in the lifestyle, not just nudists. They were from Pennsylvania, not too far from Ohio, and they were 48 and 50 years old, so they were, our age. And she was a teacher, just like me. So we had lots to talk about. So Eva and I felt we had a new, target. They checked all the boxes for us. After talking to them in the pool, we basically said that we'd, see them tonight at the show. Well, they never showed up. Eva and I attended the show, talked to that older couple I mentioned earlier, talked to some other people that we weren't interested in playing with, but just talking with, enjoying our conversation. And we just had a good time, just, Eva and I. And a little foreshadowing, we noticed a very good-looking couple sitting on a couch during the show, just watching. They didn't seem to talk to anyone and did not go to the disco or the hot tub afterwards. That couple is one of the foul balls that I will get to shortly. Anyway, we saw the Pennsylvania couple at breakfast the next day, and they said they ended up passing out because they were so tired. But they looked forward to seeing us later. Now, this is our final day, day 4. We spent a lot of time, as usual, by the pool. And at one point during the day, we noticed the Pennsylvania couple swimming in the quiet side of the pool, away from the bar and the music. So we went over and started talking to them again. They didn't seem happy, not with us, but they seemed unhappy with the resort. They kind of complained about it a lot. They had come directly from a different resort and really wanted to go back to the other one where there was more action. He complained that here at this club, everyone was old and overweight. Now, that was an exaggeration, but we did understand what he meant. You know, there were a lot of older people, older than us, and yes, there were some. There was some people who one might describe as overweight. Eva and I, without saying so, seemed to be on the same page though with our discussion. You know, we knew what we were doing here. You know, we talked about lifestyle stuff. We expressed interest in what they had to say, and we asked if we could see them later tonight at the show and at the disco, and they seemed very interested. Well, they never showed up again. Eva and I were very disappointed. You pay all this money to go to a resort, and you don't participate in the entertainment they offer you 2 nights in a row? You said you had outfits picked out, and you don't use them? You complain that this resort is boring, but then you don't give the entertainment a chance? And you have this attractive couple, Eva and myself, practically announce that we're a sure thing, and you don't make every effort to meet up with them? So we were disappointed. The next morning, right before we left the resort, we ran into them, and she said she just drank too much wine and fell asleep. And he claimed he really wanted to come down and hang with us, but didn't want to leave his wife. But we're like, you're 48. You know what wine does to you, and you have an opportunity to play with this awesome couple from Ohio, and you let that happen? So we think maybe they weren't as interested in us as we thought, and that's fine. It was just kind of annoying for us. You know, if we were really into a couple and they seemed like they were really into us, you know, we will do everything in our power to make it happen. You know, we're not going to go get drunk and pass out, and we're definitely going to follow through when we say we're going to see you later tonight. Even I, we wonder if they even lasted the week there, because they, you know, we left on Thursday morning and they were staying until Saturday, but they were so down on the resort that, you know, they let it get to them, and it affected their enjoyment. They might not have even lasted the week. They might have gone to a different resort or something. Now they could have enjoyed some dancing and some sex with us, but instead they complained and passed out. At least she did. Oh well, you know, we chalk it up as a bummer and moved on. Eva and I still had a great time, just the two of us. Okay, now, what I call the foul balls here. I'm using this baseball analogy, I guess, but I don't know what you'd call it. So the foul balls, they're not home runs, they weren't hits, but they weren't even strikeouts. They were just missed opportunities. First one. For the first 2, maybe 3 days of this day, we saw this couple, and we felt they were completely out of our league, just chiseled bodies. Both of them were just ridiculously hot. But we never got the nerve or the opening we needed to comfortably talk to them. After they left, and, you know, we didn't see them at the resort anymore, we were talking to a different couple, and the guy, upon learning we were from Ohio, told us, "Oh, there was another couple from Ohio." He then proceeds to describe the hot, chiseled couple I just mentioned. God damn it. They were from Ohio. That was our opening. And we missed it because we didn't speak up. Another missed opportunity, okay? We noticed this couple on the dance floor on night 3. Noticed them again on night 4. Eva noted that she bore a striking resemblance to Anna, the lead character in the 50 Shades of Grey movies. Literally on our way up to our suite on the last night, ready to pack and head to bed, we passed this couple in the hot tub. Eva decided to compliment the woman, so she went up to her, leaned over because she was still in the hot tub, and told her how she thought she looked like Anna from the movie. She was so nice and so receptive and so appreciative of the compliment. She thanked us and said we were not the first to ever say that. And her husband immediately introduced himself and started a conversation. And we were like, damn it, these people are so nice and hot. And we're leaving. So a missed opportunity because we didn't speak up. And now our last one. Now this one hurts a little bit. You remember I mentioned that the very attractive couple that was sitting on the couch, not talking to anyone, on night 3? Well, we saw them again on night 4. They were sitting at the bar before the evening show, not talking to anyone. Now, at this point, Eva and I had given up on the Pennsylvania couple, and we accepted that we wouldn't be playing with any other couples, and we were fine with that. That wasn't the main purpose of our trip. But anyway, they were just sitting there, and I told Eva, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go talk to them. I hadn't had the guts to initiate a conversation with a single attractive person the entire stay. I wanted to be able to tell myself that I fucking did it. So Eva and I went up to the bar to get a drink, purposely going right next to the attractive couple. I got my drink, thinking about what am I going to say? And I noticed that they were wearing the same color bracelets as we were. At this resort, first-timers are given a yellow bracelet. White bracelets are for returning guests, and black bracelets are for guests who have achieved member status. Well, this couple's bracelets were yellow. So that was my opening. I was like, hey, fellow newbie, where are you guys from? And they were from California. Now, the theme of the evening was angels and devils. Okay, so every night there's a theme and they invite you to dress according to the theme. So Eva was wearing a sexy red dress with devil horns, and I was just wearing a white button-down shirt and a halo. I had this little halo that I bought from Amazon. And I told the woman that her halo was so much nicer than mine. Well, she asked if she could show me something with mine. So I let her, and I handed it to her, and she just kind of like adjusted it. And she made it look so much better. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. You fixed it. So we got their names and we chatted for a little bit. And I informed them that we had seen them earlier, but we were just too shy to say hello. They replied that they were just so shy too, and thanked me for saying hello to them. So they were shy as well. And they were waiting for someone to talk to them. So we chatted for a while, but we didn't want to wear out our welcome or, overwhelm them. So we told them we would talk to them, again later on. And they were so nice and so hot and so easy to talk to. All right. And we saw them at the bar later on while we danced on the dance floor. But by the time we were done, they were gone. And we didn't see them again. But if I had just spoken up the first night we saw them, we could have potentially hung out with them all day. And if the chemistry was right, heck, we may have been even playing with them that very evening. They seemed just like us. They kept to themselves, just hoping for someone to initiate a conversation with them. But instead, we never saw them again. A missed opportunity because, say it with me, we didn't speak up. So the lesson here, don't be like Evan and Eva. Speak up. Say hello to people. We missed out on 3 potential connections because we are too damn shy. I wish there was a pill or a shot I could take to give me the courage to just say hello to people, but damn, I'm shy. I mean, even alcohol does not give me that liquid courage. It doesn't work. Now, Eva is better, but even she has to have an opening. She can't just walk up to people and say hi. It's kind of frustrating. I mean, look at those 3 incidents. All 3 could have possibly worked out. Those last 2 especially. They were both super nice couples that we missed out on. Now, admittedly, the door swings both ways. They could have initiated a conversation with us first. So my advice to everyone that I feel like a hypocrite saying because I can't do it myself, talk to people. Say hello. Introduce yourself. What's the worst that could happen? In our case, at the resort, we'll never see these people ever again. What were we afraid of? I don't know. We still felt shy. So don't be like us. Grab those opportunities. Take the initiative. Now, if only I could follow my own advice. All right, guys, thanks for listening today. That's going to wrap things up for me. I hope you enjoyed hearing about our adventures at the resort. Again, in my next episode or an episode soon after that, I'll talk more about how the resort functions and what we learned about staying at such a place. I may try to get Eva to join me for that. Not sure yet. But for now, so long and take care. You can connect with me on Instagram or Kik at Evan Dienson. That's EvanDeanson. That's Kik and Instagram, but I also have an email address, evandienson@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. Any questions, comments, or suggestions are always welcome. And now we can even field questions about all-inclusive, clothing-optional resorts, since we have that experience under our belts. So, until next time, be safe, be naughty, and see you next time on Evan Swings.